at some point we had a family business, Feni business, and it was floundering. It was not doing too well, and we were on the verge of shutting down. And so I said, I'm going to take it up. Quickly, as a businessman, I realized there are only 4 people to compete with.
Just to start off with our interaction, first I want, whenever in Goa Feni is mentioned, the name Cazulo pops up. I'm not buttering you up.
I wish Google will believe that story, because when I Google, I don't get Cazulo coming up straight.
No, but let me be honest. Any guest that we meet, or any tourist, Cazulo is the name that comes up. So how did, first of all, that idea of starting a Feni brand, naming it Cazulo, and maybe what is one thing that you feel you have done right when it comes to Cazulo, that today it is somewhere a household name?
So my background is a lot of things. In my last interview I did with someone else, I talked about being a geologist. Now I'll tell you about the next part of my life. I run Vaz Enterprises.
Yeah.
And Vaz Enterprises has wholesalers, retailers of liquor all over Goa.
Yeah.
So ever since I was young, if it was a holiday, if it was Christmas, if it was my father needed a loader, my father needed to do some errands, we were drafted inside. Family business, you all pitch in. And so very quickly I started understanding alcohol from a very different perspective. What does a consumer want?
Yeah.
What is a B2C, business to customer?
Yeah.
But also because I was a retailer and a wholesaler, I used to also be a fly on the wall when companies used to come and pitch their products. I was also B2B. So a client like a Diageo or a Pernod trying to sell liquor to a liquor store. So I started seeing 2 sides of the business, B2B, B2C. And then I said, okay, let's, at some point we had a family business, Feni business, and it was floundering. It was not doing too well, and we were on the verge of shutting down. And so I said, I'm going to take it up. So I quit. I didn't quit my geology career, but I continued my geology career parallelly. But I started giving more thought into the Feni business, and I saw very interesting things. At that time, Feni was staring down the barrel. There must have been about 3 or 4 brands.
Yeah.
3 or 4 brands. Yes. Big Boss. There was Kaskar at that time. There was Fidalgo, and maybe Haldankar's Kajulana.
Yeah.
4 brands that were actually holding the fort. And I said, if we don't do something about our own brand, our own Feni heritage, then who's going to do it? That's the first thing. But the second thing, and more astutely as a businessman, I realized there are only 4 people to compete with. But difficult, because what people forget is I didn't just launch a brand. I decided, if you're going to be competing with 4 people, we can't be competing with 4 people, because these are all family friends.
Yeah.
We've all grown up together, we've all known each other. Goa is a small place. Yeah. So you can't compete with each other. There's enough space. What was required was category creation.
Yeah.
And so we had to look at the whole business of Feni, break down Feni into a language of colors, imagery, motifs, textures, all that, and then create the brand. So we called it Cazulo, because Kazu sounds like cashew, but it's nothing to do with. Cazulo means firefly. And firefly because it has a nice glow. So when you drink Feni, hopefully you glow. And that was the whole thing. So not as corny as that, but we just felt Kazu had a nice ring to the thing. And Cazulo, the O, when you say Babulo or you say Arman,
pet names.
Yeah. So that's a little affectionate. So I said it's a nice name, nice ring to it. So we put it across. And also it's not a tongue twister. If you're trying to create a brand, the last thing you want to pronounce a name that is pronounced that you cannot pronounce. I mean, so
and foreigners,
Indians, Chinese, Czechoslovakians, anybody comes in should be able to pronounce it with a nice ring and get a nice interesting alphabet Z.
Yeah.
We always think, it has a Z inside. So a lot of things together, a lot of thought. I spent about a year thinking about it, 8 months doing it, and then finally it took me a year just to make it from a concept when you had the drawing to finally come out as a bottle. It took about 1 year.
Wow.
And then finally we launched it 12 years ago today in the evening. At this time, 12 years ago, my father and I suddenly realized that the labels were not the stamping, because our printer had put a plastic film on it, and so we were writing the MRP and the handwritten. It's completely illegal, guys.
Do you have by chance a bottle?
My friend has it. So there are only 76 birds, or there are only about 100 bottles that were handwritten, because we just wanted to get out onto the market.
Just get it done.
My friend came and picked up, and I'm a little, and I'm really happy. He's kept it. He said he's going to sell it to me on my 50th birthday.
Sell it to you,
Yeah,
my
sell it to
God.
you. No, he's just kidding. He's kidding. But I'm glad he kept it because I don't have a bottle.
Yeah.
Because somebody comes on and you get it. So it was a very interesting time. 12 years ago, we were doing all this just to get the brand out.
Yeah.
That is it, and the rest is history. We went to category creation to
Premiumization.
No, so we came out with premiumization. There was no premium Feni then.
Yeah.
There was just, if you looked at the labels, which I was very careful about looking, there was deluxe Feni.
Yeah.
And that was it. It stopped at deluxe. So I said, okay, let's create premium. And then people asked me, what is premium? I said, no. I said, we're just going to create a premium, 500 rupees. And then my father knocked me in my head and he said, you can't just put a word without meaning something.
Yeah.
So he said, no, you got to do something. I said, who will know? It doesn't matter.
Firefighting, we'll do it later.
Yeah, we'll figure it out later. My father said, no, nothing. So he said, you have to put 1 year's Feni. And I told you, that's why it took 1 year. Because we had to think about that. Put 1 year rested Feni and then come out. That's how we created the first benchmark Feni and said, get 500 rupees, you'll get a 1 year rested.
Wow.
Double
distilled, all of that.
So that is there, but nicely packaged Feni. So that's what we did, yeah.
Like, share and subscribe.